Hey guys, this is Clayton. Before we jump into this next Battle Topics episode, I just wanted to thank you for all the support you gave us with this latest Gannick vs. Goalie event. Avocado and I both flew up to Toronto to shoot this event, and it was by far the smoothest event that I have ever worked. With new concept cards like Gannick vs. Goalie, Team vs. Team, we never really truly know what to expect, but with all your overwhelming support and positive feedback, we were super happy with how it turned out. Thank you for all your support with buying the pay-per-view, sharing, retweeting, doing whatever you can. The whole King of the Dot team puts in a lot of work to make sure these events come out as epic as possible, and I just wanted to take this time out to extend our thank you from the Ruin Your Day team to say that we could not do this without you guys. And without further ado, we'll just jump right into this next episode. Hello, welcome to another episode of Battle Topics. I'm your host, Clayton, along with my co-host.
My name is Stalk, also of Ruin Your Day, along with Clayton, and our guest today is I would describe him in words, but that's kind of impossible. The guest is indescribable. He is a man who wears many hats, mainly because he likes to buy hats. He is the resident sweetheart of the battle rap community, and the perfect insight for today's topic of comedy and battle rap. Hailing from Georgia by way of California, by way of Milwaukee, Carter Deems. Carter, how are you?
Hey guys, it's Carter Deems of apartment 607 Blackstone Avenue. Doing pretty good.
Listen, Pops, I'll hit him so hard it'll split my hands like Mr. Spock. Keep acting like what you spit is hot, and that'll get ice creamed in the future like Dippin' Dots.
So as you can see, we clearly caught Carter on a very wild weekend, and he set some time aside to talk to us. And basically, Clayton, how would you like to start this off? Let me start off by saying that it's not weird, but it is kind of because Carter and I talk fairly frequently. We talked like a week ago just about nonsense, and typically, if this conversation starts to veer in that direction, don't be afraid to just, say, dirtbag Dan's here, and we'll straighten up and talk about battling tomorrow.
So you guys ever eat Brussels sprouts in the bathtub?
All right, so today's topic, Brett kind of touched on a little bit, where it's kind of a broad topic, but comedy and battle rap and like jokes, angles in battle rap. Both of you performed at a comedy special called Jokes Over Bars, and with a lot of leagues and a lot of battle fans, they consider jokes in battling as corny, or they're always saying like bars. It was kind of tongue in cheek for bars over jokes. What's your opinion when it comes to someone saying that jokes or comedy doesn't belong in battle rap?
Well, I mean, I won't sugarcoat it. My mom prefers bars over jokes, so it gets kind of awkward. But I'm just like, because when I go home for Thanksgiving, like for a weekend, I talk only in rhymes and only in joke rhymes. I never, I don't talk to my parents in bars. And she's like, Carter, stop with the jokes. Give me some more bars.
Yeah, right.
But no, that was a joke, guys. I was running a bit on you fellas. No, I think there's merit in both. I think it's just if a line is creative, then it's and puts a different spin on things, and it's good. Despite the intent of either making you laugh or make you look like you just bit into a lemon that was covered in rotten lemon.
I hate those good and bad lemons, and that's a perfect metaphor. First of all, how offended are you? Can you believe it that there are people out there, the audacity of people who actually like to laugh? Isn't that ridiculous?
I guess, yeah, it's great when people laugh at you. Like, the worst thing is when you like tell a joke and someone's just like, "That's funny."
Yeah, that's like the worst response that someone could have to a joke. It's just a simple, "That was really funny." Thanks.
Yeah, but I guess to try to stay on topic before Brett and I start talking about Juggalo weddings and stuff. Like, I feel like Are we allowed to talk about Juggalo weddings?
That was almost the topic for this episode, and then we realized that we can only keep it to about 20, 30 minutes, so we changed it to comedy and battle rap.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like walking into a church and just seeing a Faygo fountain, and not like a wedding cake, but just like a pile of cake, like not even in cake form, just like a huge pile of frosting and bread. Is there a big Juggalo demographic for this show? Did I just offend?
No, actually, I actually went to a Juggalo church, and they actually drink Faygo as communion on Sundays. But instead of Body of Christ, they say, "May the wicked be with you." It's really moving.
What denomination is that?
Alabama.
So getting back on track, but Carter, you've taken on opponents that don't necessarily fit your style of battling, such as like Head Ice or Ilnak. Head Ice is a good example of an opponent that is the pretty much exact opposite. How do you take on an opponent like that with that kind of style?
First, I just wanted to the Juggalo wedding video. The guy's jacket didn't have sleeves on it, but
Are you watching it right now?
Actually, no. I just have a screenshot of it. Going back to Head Ice, to the question. Honestly, I feel like Head Ice is one of the funniest guys in battle rap. So
He is.
I feel like even if people don't really like the mismatches between so-called funny, but I feel like it doesn't matter if you're trying to make people laugh or trying to make people look like they just ate poop covered in a rotten lemon. I feel like as long as both people come very creatively, it doesn't matter which way you're trying to entertain someone, as long as you kind of open up a new light on it. So also, like, when they were walking to the car, they were just like spraying Faygo on them. Like, they weren't even throwing rice. They were just, and they didn't even spray it. Like, one person just dumped it. Like, they didn't even spray it.
One person just blatantly slowly opened the 2-liter bottle and just poured it upside down. Like, it was.
Yeah. Also, I didn't know they made Honda Civic limousines. That was crazy.
For those of you who might be curious about this, if you literally go on YouTube and type in Juggalo wedding, I don't know how many there are, but the one you're talking about is for sure there. It exists.
Yeah.
It's real. But speaking of being doused in off-brand soda, people know you and they know your style. Is it still kind of a weird like assimilation process showing up at these leagues that, aren't branded as a Carter Deems place to be? Like, you're clearly the only Carter Deems in the building. So do you feel like a kind of a fish out of the water still, or have you adjusted to the point that you're going to be different no matter where you go, and it's all the same to you?
No, I mean, I know I don't think there's a differentiation at any battle event you go, because we're all, it's all kind of linked by the same, I guess, intent, which is to entertain a crowd and make people happy and impress them with your bars or your thinking process, favorite process, whatever approach you take. I feel like it's all kind of the same goal. Yeah, like when I first started out, I kind of pandered to the audience. When I started in grind time, it was kind of the time of the really nasty, kind of just terrible jokes. And looking back, it just made me feel really sad. So I just kind of decided, whoever I battle, whatever I do, just do my thing. And, but yeah, and like, I didn't even know that they had a Honda sitting. No, I'm dropping the Juggalo. I'm dropping the Juggalo thing.
So since you changed your style, I know you have a huge fan base, a lot of people like Cat Mob, all that.
And T-Pain.
Yeah, and T-Pain. But do you ever get feedback from the opposition where they're telling you that style doesn't belong? Have you ever received any feedback like that?
And if you did, how did Beasley say it?
No, I've never, honestly, I haven't really, no one's ever told me like, hey man, well, I take that back one time, but this was like 2010, I did a rap battle, and a particular judge who is a well-known rapper just looked at me and was just like, nah, we're good. But it was I didn't do very well at all. It was a freestyle type battle, but I think those were his exact words. It was like, no, we're good. But I actually got invited back the next year, but only to help clean up backstage. So they didn't let me rap.
Yeah, and me and Clay were talking about that before, is obviously you are beloved, especially like on the King of the Dot stage, where people go nuts when you're just walking to the ring. Oh, this is the douchiest thing, but I'm going to do it. I'm holding quotation fingers. Do you feel like people need to get you to understand it, or do they just not get it, and they have no sense of humor and no soul?
You just don't get it.
There you go.
That's an exact quote from when I was trying to get my mom to buy me jean coats. You just don't get it. No, I don't think it's like like some kind of above your head type thing.
Yeah.
I think some people just don't like. I don't like things. There's some things that I don't like that I feel like I understand. So I don't really hold it against anyone for not liking my particular style of lexiconical yelling. It's not fair to just say, hey, you don't get it. It's fair, I would say, yeah, I mean, it's cool if you don't like it, but not like in a defiant way.
Do you think there's like a league out there that you just like would not even try to battle on there because you know that your material wouldn't be well received at all?
I can't even think of a grocery store that I wouldn't battle in, to be honest. No, anywhere that I just love not being alone on weekends. So like any league that wants to let me be there. Honestly, I feel like it's not, I don't want to be polarizing as far as people that want more serious battles or whatever. I understand, but yeah, no, I mean wherever wherever there's a party going on, that's where I want to be, especially if that party's at a Juggalo wedding.
Where would you want to battle more if you got offered a gig at both places on the same weekend? The Gathering of the Juggalos or the Milwaukee County Toyota-thon?
I would want both of those crowds to meet me in the parking lot of a Long John Silver's. But not in the Long John Silver's. I want like the old school feel, like in the parking lot with no light, just the only lights coming from like 10 Honda Civic limousines. But then the Toyota-thon, like the Toyota dealership will get upset. We're like, okay, well we'll let you have a RAV4 limousine, but not a RAV4 stretch limousine, just like a regular RAV4 limousine.
Yeah, this isn't Hollywood, okay?
Yeah, I don't have like an unlimited budget.
One example I can think of, and just because I was a part of it, so I get the first-hand experience, is you and I were a part of a freestyle tournament, and you and I battled a few people in the process, and then the finals came, and it was you versus me. And unbeknownst to the crowd, both people there, you and I did nothing but like very, very loving compliments, enough to make the common battle fan uncomfortable, and which I don't think they were expecting, nor were they wanting. So it didn't quite go over well as much as our previous battles had that night. But you and I enjoyed it because we were having a good time. But I don't think people wanted that material to be coming out of our mouths at each other. Do you feel obligated to write around the audience, or do you just kind of go for broke?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, when I first started, I kind of tendered to the crowd as far as jokes that I thought they wanted, or lines, subject matter that I thought would entertain the crowd. And looking back, I'm like, I wish those were the missing tapes, Like, I wish those cameras had exploded on like the right over. Sorry, Clayton, I know you probably don't like people talking about camera violence, like violence against cameras, but like looking back, I'm like, I'm honestly embarrassed about those first battles where I was just talking about things that I wouldn't really talk about in real life. But then again, also, I mean, I don't want to do something so avant-garde or so quotations progressive that, I don't know, I kind of try to take into account what I think people will like without compromising my personal beliefs. this is the most philosophical I get about anything in my life is religion, politics. I rely on memes for religion and politics, but with battle rap, I've got like a manifesto. I don't know. I don't really share battles though. I kind of make it a point. I do promote battles and stuff, but I don't want to force it on anyone. So I just let it kind of happen organically by letting my dad tell like real estate agents and stuff about it.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that though, because I know working with King of the Dot, whenever they try to introduce people into battle rap or like try to like branch out into new markets and try to capture new eyes, they take not so much a PG route, but they or like especially investors, they've claimed that whenever they ask to see a battle, they show them your battle with cheddar cheese, mainly because it's like so accessible to like so many different audiences. And although that's not the best representation of all of battle rap, it's definitely more appealing to a wider audience, if that makes sense. How do you feel about that battle and what that has done for not only your career, but your style and battle rap in general?
They show that battle to investors. Am I getting like a check or should I get a cut of that? I'm just kidding. Well, I think even besides the whole cussing stuff, I mean, I know I don't hate people that say cuss words, you know, like, you know, who am I to effing tell someone that they shouldn't cuss? No, like, I mean, I think honestly the big thing about it is the subject matter isn't as cringeworthy as maybe some of the jokes can be, but also I think the biggest thing is that it's not like you don't have to have the history. You don't have to have the
like the backstory
battle rap. Yeah, like there's no. I don't think we have any mention of any other battlers or any other like references. It's all pop culture or you know just in general kind of references. I feel like I try to bring in most of my battles just to make it more accessible. And not saying because definitely there is a place for it to make references and because it's a culture that you know you want to relate to the fans on. But also I feel like it's good to keep in mind to make battles accessible to everyone as well.
I have a quick question though. With that battle, I've always wanted to ask you, whenever you first started your first round and you talked about how I've had however many seizures this year, so it's all right if I start off a little shaky. Did you plan on slipping up that first couple lines? Was that like intentional or did that just happen to help you out?
So I planned on slipping up. So I planned on slipping up, but then I slipped up on the plan and I was like, because I was going to slip up a little earlier, but the plan didn't go through as much, so I actually slipped up on slipping up. So then I just disregarded the plan, but ended up slipping up anyway, and so then the plan went through with me not slipping up, but in that way I did slip up.
So
you're a natural.
So you were planning on slipping up and then nixed the idea of slipping up. And by doing that, you accidentally slipped up.
Yeah. So it was like, I had written it that way and then I was going to kind of stumble, but I really did. Like I just blanked out for like, longer than I had planned on doing it. And so, cause I wasn't going to bring it all the way back to the beginning. So I just blanked out completely. It ended up working out, I guess. But yeah, I didn't mean to stumble that much.
That's crazy. Plus, it was all freestyle anyway, so.
Yeah, dude, I do fake chokes all the time at work. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't have the spreadsheet for you. Fake choke, like. I got it right here.
Psych I lied, it's right here.
Yeah. That way,
That's how you practice for your battles before battle events. You
don't want to know how many fake high fives I put on Gary right before my Ilmac battle, like at the office.
Wow.
Do you chastise people that don't show up to work for no showing and say it's bad for the culture?
Yeah.
It's bad for the culture.
Yeah, like I walk into my boss's office. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I came here for the check.
When you have to do a PowerPoint presentation, but you just don't have the time or interest to do it, do you just use a mixtape verse?
They had to change the policy, the workplace policy, because I just kept using the Don DeMarco
Yeah.
Like every time I would just turn in like a fire spreadsheet. So we're actually not allowed to bring DJs into the office anymore.
Here's a question about a question, but I understand why people would ask it. So how much of you is like a character, and how much is the real Carter?
See, I can't even answer that question without,
Isn't that an awful question? That's like the worst question. But I know people ask it, and I know you've heard it before.
I don't know. Right now, I can't even tell.
No.
Sometimes I look in the mirror and just saying, am I real? Like, have I become this person that I never wanted to become? And is that part of my character?
It's like the Robin Williams thing where you look in the mirror saying, am I always on, or is this who I've become? It's like,
right, yeah, exactly. Like, at what point does the character become you? No, I think it's, with most battlers, I think it's this way. It's just like a magnified version of your abilities and your personality. I don't just like turn it on, right when I hit the doors and just turn into this totally different person. But I'm also not like spitting microwave bars at Gary all day either at work. It's I stay true to myself, and I know like sometimes I'm just like, man, I've turned it on too much. It's I'm kind of being overbearing with my sense of humor or whatever. But yeah, no, it's not like something I turn on and off. I just feel like in a battle, for a 20-minute battle, it does come out a little more magnified.
it's kind of like, when you're in the ring, you're Steve Urkel. And then when you're outside the ring, you are not Stefan or Kel. You are not the exact opposite Mr. Suave. You're just simple, normal Jaleel White.
In Sharknado. I'm Jaleel.
Yeah, absolutely. As the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Or, yeah, he was in one, I don't know if it was Sharknado. He was in one of the sci-fi. It was like, I don't know, like Birthquake or something.
Birthquake.
You're in movies, right? Like you're in the movie biz.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
Is that something we could pitch? Is that something we could like pitch to a sci-fi? Do you have connects?
Yeah, I'll pitch that to them. We'll pitch them the same way we pitch everything, just by showing them your Carter versus cheddar cheese battle. Is how we'll pitch anything.
Yeah, they'll put on Carter and cheddar, and then when it's all over, they'll say, "So, Birthquake."
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad that just anybody that's listening, we actually had that as a talking point. I think it was like 7.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll jump in topics.
We're jumping ahead on the script here.
Okay, so we'll just nix everything in between that. But Carter, just to like wrap up the comedy portion before we get into these other segments, I know you're dabbling in, I don't know how frequently you do it, but stand-up comedy. And it's actually not as uncommon as I thought with battle rappers doing stand-up comedy. You and Brett just did the Jokes Over Bars event at the Bunker, and I know other battlers have done outside stuff, and you guys both do outside stuff as well. How well do you think being a battler helps transition you into being a stand-up comedian, or vice versa? How well do you think stand-up comedians could transition into being battle rappers?
Well, first off, Brett did an incredible job.
Oh, God, stop it.
You did.
No, Carter, you heard the man's question. You killed it. You did better than the professionals.
No, I've been doing battle rapping for almost 8 years now, and I still get terrible anxiety. I mean, just in performing or talking in front of people in general. So it's still very nerve-wracking. Wouldn't say that, I'm calm ever going into a battle, but stand-up comedy is probably 100 times more nerve-wracking. I don't know if it's just because I've been doing it for 6 months now. But I feel like part of it is you're up there by yourself. Yeah, you don't have someone talking about how they're going to shoot you in the head or whatever. I take that back. I've had a heck. But no, like, you're up there in a rap battle. The vibe is, all these people are here to be entertained by rhymes. They're there. They know what they're in for. Like, they kind of are expecting, and they know what's going on. Whereas in stand-up comedy, you're up there by yourself, and you're trying to force people to laugh. Like, literally just push them into an emotion, and it's one of the most terrifying things ever. And I feel like in battle rap, it's easier to bring in humor in. I guess you're not there trying to force someone to laugh, but you can use humor help the battle progress or help push the entertainment factor. Whereas in stand-up comedy, that's all you have. Like, you're just there with jokes, and that's it.
And with stand-up comedy, you kind of have like a blank canvas. You don't have the subject to start from and dissect and work from that.
Right.
That they can physically see what you're talking about as you're talking about it. You're going from nothing to a full-blown emotion that you're trying to change in somebody. So just that creative process of seeing a blank canvas in front of you and having to create something out of nothing is terrifying in itself.
Yeah, and there's no really, cause like in a rap battle, it's within the context, like you were saying, like it's already set up. It's on.
Yeah, battle fans are predispositioned to recognize what a good battle rap line is, and they're very likely to react to it. Like, you know what, when you write down something that a battle rap crowd will like, you're like, okay, the crowd will like this. But in stand-up comedy, you don't know what individuals find funny particularly, so you can't write like a joke and just be like, all right, this is going to kill, the crowd's going to love it, as you can for a battle rap crowd.
Right. The only thing with stand-up is, you do have the opportunity to go to open mics, but that's even a little more deceiving because something that would, that kills one night at an open mic, I've used the same joke at an actual show, and it was terrible, so that can be, there's not really an open mic crowd for rap battles, but once you start doing it, you kind of
grind time.
Yeah, right. I wasn't going to say that because I'm still,
they're one of our sponsors. We have to be careful.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Carter's still getting royalties for him and Bankroll.
Yeah. I bought my futon with grind time money. So, I bought my coffee grinder with grind time money, actually. But I am contractually obligated every time I use it to say, it's grind time. Even if there isn't.
Even if nobody's there.
Yeah, even if I'm by myself. I'm contractually obligated.
As we wrap up the comedy portion, obviously, if we didn't touch on it enough, you did better than everyone at Jokes Over Bars, and you're the funniest guy.
Totally off topic.
Without looking, and don't be a cheater, even if you have an iPhone, how many total views do you think you have?
I probably like 1.5, probably 1,543,238. But like, I haven't looked at it in at least
is
2 or 3 hours.
Accurate.
So,
that is completely correct. That is spot on. No,
but I have invested in a lot of bots. I use some of my grind time money just to set up fake YouTube accounts that just constantly watch my battles.
Would you call those battle bots?
Dang it, man. I'm just going to hang up now. You just beat me. You just beat me in this conversation.
Have you ever considered having a different pseudonym other than Carter Deems?
I have, I've run through a couple. Futon the Don. Actually, this is, I don't know if I've ever, Brett knows about this, but I haven't really told a lot of people. I actually went by the name Awkward for not my grind time battles, but I did like a handful of freestyle battles, like in the Atlanta scene. And I went by the name Awkward because I didn't think I'd ever happen, and that Awkwards would never ever find out, which we're actually friends now. Well, we're friends up until this point. I don't think you knew that I used to go by Awkward either. I spelled it differently, though. Yeah, I mean, I spelled it OKWERDSS.
Yeah.
I feel like that's different enough.
The S's were dollar signs. It wasn't even the same.
Yeah, there was like a period at some point. No, I did. I went by the name Awkward for a while, and then I changed. I was like, no, I'm going to be, I'm going to be true to myself and go by Carter Deems. And then when I tried to start trying to get jobs, I was like, I should have just gone with Awkward.
Has that ever got brought up at work or like during job interviews?
Yeah, I did an internship, and at the end of the internship, the person said, Carter did a good job. I just wish he was a little as passionate about this job as he is about battle rap.
Damn.
They didn't fire me or anything, but it was.
But you were suspended without pay.
Yeah.
Name your top 5 favorite girls.
Hold on, hold on. I'm pulling up my Google history. See, that's like the creepiest answer I think. Yeah, my mind went straight to it. Hold on, I'm looking up my Facebook search bar history. Next question. That's it for that one. Like the craziest thing that's ever happened to me because of battle rap. Brian McKnight's son Facebook messaged me, and we talked on Facebook for probably 2 hours one time. He just like hit me up, and he wasn't like, this is Brian McKnight's son or whatever. Like we were just talking. He's like, I like your whatever, watch battles, and he's like, yeah, they should do some music with my dad. And I was like, oh, cool. And that was we just. I didn't put it together, and then I went back on his Facebook page after we talked, and I looked through his profile pictures, and it was just him and Brian McKnight.
And all the captions just said me and my dad.
They did. Like there was like a caption like me and my dad in the studio, and that was nuts, man. That's probably the best thing that's happened to me because of battle rap. Also, I touched Little Bow Wow on the back without him knowing. I put my hand on. This is real. It was at the Snoop Dogg Gladiator School, and I put my hand on Little Bow Wow's shoulder, like lightly, like very lightly. That's not even a joke. That's real.
Do you feel like you have a Southern accent?
I try to suppress it. I make a conscious effort to try to suppress it, but not that I'm ashamed. I just don't like people knowing that I'm from the South. No, no, I don't try to suppress it. I've lived in a lot of different places, and I still think I do still have a Southern accent, but I've lived in a lot of places kind of diluted. What kind of accents are you guys into?
My top one, which you're very lucky to be a part of, is I love a good Midwest accent. Wisconsin,
yeah.
Minnesota. Bad. It's not Bob, it's bad. Which
Bag instead of bag. Bag.
Yeah, or back instead of buck. Everything just becomes an A noise. That's my favorite.
I like Australian accents. Australian accents are kind of dope.
Okay.
They are. They oi. Everything is oi.
Or like whenever they say no, it's like nar. It's like NAR.
Yeah.
Nar.
Yeah.
Nar. I don't. Nar. I don't nar.
Dude, I'm trying to battle in Australia next year, so let's veer off this making fun of Australian people.
No, that's an angle right there, dude. That's an angle.
Yeah.
All right, well, we can wrap this up so we can let you go back to your date, and Brett can go back to celebrating his 21st birthday.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do this, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem. Thank you for joining us.
All right. See you guys.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, man.